Hey, what's up? I'm going to show you how I make this track. Ethereal. It's super simple, super basic. So let's get right into it. So all of a sudden, or starting off, we've got these three samples. They're just like ambient textures, stuff like this. Stuff like this. And this pet. I got them all off of Splice Sounds from somewhere. I honestly have no idea where I got them, but Splice is where they came from, somewhere on there. And then they just kind of get like faded in, and the reverb on the pad gets brought way up. And then these two reverse samples get triggered. And this one is just from the Black Octopus Siren pack. It's a bunch of like vocal things, and it just sounds like this. It's super basic, and that probably just got like EQ'd and reverbed a little bit, or just reverb. And then this right here. And that was just me taking the kick drum, putting a bunch of reverb on it, recording it, and then reversing it, and then cutting off a little bit of the tail, because it made a really like harsh click when the kick like actually hit. So cut off the transient, and yeah, that's about it. And also for these right here, this, I have them cross fading into each other right here, just so it doesn't like click every time the sample starts. So there's that. And here's like the first actual sounds. So there's this hat shaker. Again from Splice. So I'm honestly not sure where it even came from, but it's just a hat shaker. And you have these drums right here. And this was pretty sure, I think I know actually exactly where this came from. Yeah, it's from the Tropical House by Singular Sounds pack, just SS Kick Island. It worked for me. It's just getting EQ'd a little bit. It's got a sidechain, which is just a clone of a kick with, should be, or, well, it's just a clone of the kick, apparently. And it gets sidechained to the side and apparently the shaker loop. So, yeah. And then there's this. This is actually a marimba. So I just use East-West Quantum Leap Symphonic Orchestra, and yep, it's a marimba with a delay bank on it. It's also getting sent to my reverb send. Yeah, it's getting sent to the reverb send, and that is all of that's happening in like this entire thing. And then we have this reverse snare. We do have a snare, don't we? I don't know why I can't see it right here. I'm kind of confused. So why? Oh, that'd be why. So we have these. I've got these three things. I've got this snare from. It's somewhere in Splice. I'm sorry. It's just a good sounding snare, and then from the same Tropical House packs, I have this and this, and all of them layered together. And yeah, and I have them all running into like a snare snap group. All of them are getting EQ'd individually. All of them have a high pass. Yeah, so, and then on here I just have some reverb to give it space. The reverse snare, which is the recording of the snare loop, or snare snap groove. Here's that reverse kick again. Just keeps going until right about here. Oh wait, until right here. The sub gets put in, and this is actually sort of interesting. So I have it going down like probably, I have it going down about like 95 cents. I have it going down 95 cents from like the center of the pitch. So like it should be like this note, but it's like slightly lower. And I did this because I sent this track to an audiophile friend of mine, and he told me that I had some of that, and his words, beats buzz, like referencing my headphones, and that it's when like the bass is just like super cheesy and generic or something. He had an explanation, but he was like, just try lowering it by like 85, 90 cents and see how it sounds. And it just sat really, really well going down 95 cents, even though now it's like technically not even in key. It just sat really well. And so I kept it. And that's how I did that. But the sub is literally just a sine wave. I just took out all the higher harmonics. And in here I distorted it just a little bit. And I took out like all of the higher harmonics. So that's all it is. And it's got a pitch envelope, as you saw, to give it a little bit of an attack. But it gets held for like 16 bars at a time, so it's not really a problem. Next we have this right here. It's a, well, I'll just get to this real quick. This is just a tom fill. And that's just Superior Drummer, which was like my favorite thing to use. And I have it all just in one bus because I didn't really care on this track, and it's getting compressed just a little bit. Basically the volume is being brought up, and that's about it. Then this happens. And if you can read, you can see that the Violin Bounce is probably exactly what it sounds like. I have a violin in this track, and I took it, put a bunch of reverb on it, recorded it, and reversed it, much like I did with the kick and the snare. I think it's a really good way to like introduce new elements and have it kind of like build in. So I do that a lot with like all of my instruments, that like the new instruments that I introduce. I think it's really handy. But then it kind of, there's not a drop in the song, but if there was a drop, like this would be it. It goes to here. And that just kind of happens for a while. So, first thing, we have everything's the same, except these 4 things getting introduced. This is just a crash from Superior Drummer, like just like a metal kit crash. We have this arpeggio. And that is a harmer. This pluck shape right here, I have no idea what I was doing. I was just messing around until I found what I wanted. 5 unison voices, bunch of pitch, some harmonizer, just to give it higher harmonics, and then heating, compression. There's really nothing special about it. It gets high passed a little bit of a duck around 1500, a little bit more than slight to saturation. But that is it on that. Super simple. The violin, it's just an east-west, just like the marimba. And I'm actually running it through guitar distortion without, or this is with and without. So yeah, I just wanted like a distorted violin and decided to use a guitar rig. It's getting high passed and the same sort of like dip around 1700 right here, and a bunch of reverb, 100% reverb actually. So there's that, and a hi-hat. But something cool about this one is on the note pan, you can see on the little fills, like each one goes in a different direction, and that was just kind of a neat thing I thought to do. Just add a little bit of flavor to it, I suppose. I don't know. But there's that, and it just kind of goes for the entire thing. And then there's this giant chord stack. And this is the pad. It's in Serum. It is the the wavetable, that's the word. Mellow but unstable. Just a saw wave. There's 16 voices on the mellow, and there's a filter that I think I'm using. I'm actually not using it at all. There's a filter just on for some reason. It's got some drive, so maybe that is part of it. There's a little bit of noise as well, and just reverb in the effects. And then it's got this sort of shape right here, because without it, like, I just wanted it to be very much in the background, and that it is. Then that just keeps going. It keeps going, it keeps going until the end. Everything's muted. And then just everything fades out with the fruity balances and the reverb envelopes. And that is the entire track. So, yeah, it's super basic, but I thought I may as well go over it. And yeah, so if you enjoyed, drop a subscribe and a like and a comment, I guess. And check this out. It's a free download on both Bandcamp and SoundCloud. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope to see you again in the next video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks.